So in the last video, we discussed about visibility and inheritance. And because of the benefit of not able to discuss those two without touching on methods and properties, we were able to touch a little bit on methods and properties. And I kind of know that now we have a simple or an idea of what is methods and properties. But in this video, we are going to enter deeply and discuss deeply on methods, how to create them, how to use them, why are they important, and so much more about methods and properties. So in my index.php file here, I have just a blueprint or a start file of HTML and with an include of new class.inc.php. And I also have another class that is new class.inc.php, where in this class is where we are going to create our methods and properties. Now, I had not mentioned what is the importance of a class, or why should we have a class. So a class is supposed like it's like a blueprint of things that we will want to cluster them together. For example, if you can take a person might have many characteristics like age, like the first name, the last name, the eye color, the skin color, the height, and such details. Maybe to show you why we should need properties before we try and create them. As I have mentioned, we might be having a person that we might need this. We might be requiring the name of the person. Let me just use my name, Cyprian, and then maybe the eye color, sorry, black, because I'm black, and maybe the age. We might be having a function that we require to be changing the details of this particular user each and every year. For example, the age changes each and every year, and maybe height if this person is a child. The height changes each and every year. Maybe this person is 1.2 meters. I mean the height. So that is the height of this particular person. So what we need to do is to maybe we need a function that needs to be changing these values each and every year, or each and every time that they need to get updated. And it might happen we might be having another person with the same characteristics and they need to change. Maybe this is supposed to be Msangi, and the age maybe is 12, and height maybe is 0.8 meters. Sorry. So those are the details of these two people which needs to be updated after a period of 1 year, as I have mentioned earlier. So it will be very hectic to do this thing, to be accessing all these people. I mean, this code is becoming crappy, and I mean, here even the name you can't just define the variable twice like that. So which means we might even start numbering them like one. So the eye color 1 and height 2. So this code becomes very dirty, becomes very long. We are just repeating ourselves, and that's why it's kind of not effective, and it's not the best way to code using this kind of a code. And maybe that's why we are going to need some properties inside a class, because what the only thing that we need to have a new person when we have a class is instantiate this class as many times as possible. We have the objects that instantiate the class, of which it is a blueprint of the properties and the methods that we'll be having inside here. So while having a class, we can create this person as many times as we will wish, and that's why here I'm going to write public. Of course, we have learned the scopes in the previous video, where we have the public, private, and the protected. So it's a public name, and this is a variable, so I should use the $sign, and the name here. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to define the name. I'm not going to assign a name to this variable. Rather, I'm only going to declare this variable. So we have a name, and let me declare another variable, maybe age. So I'm going to create one public method, and I'm gonna call it set name. So this method is the one that we are going to use so that we can set the name of this particular person, and not really person but persons, because there will be many, because this is just but a blueprint. So what you're supposed to do, we are supposed to use the this keyword. Now this keyword, it is supposed to access the properties of that are present in this particular class that we are in. So, and then after this, now I want to access the name property that is in this class. So after you write this, you're going to use the hyphen, then that angle bracket, then of course the name. Now I'm supposed to use the dollar sign here. This is because uh, this is not a variable, it is a property, and this property is referring to this particular property that is up here. So we are not going support so we are not supposed to use a variable down here, because it is referring to this particular name which is up here. So here I think I'm supposed to use a capital letter function name. So we have the name, and I'm going to assign it to another variable name, and I'm going also to pass this parameter here, name. So I don't know why we have an error. Sorry, I had missed on the spellings of this name. It's supposed to be a function like that. Yeah, so we are good, and I guess here I can return my small s. So we are good. So this name is not in any sense this one. This is just a parameter that I'm passing here. We could use another name, but it's good to just use the same name so that we can maintain so that we can know this is the what name we are referring to. I mean, for the variables to be descriptive. So here we have set the name, and I'm going to go back to my index.php file, and as I have mentioned before in the other episode, or rather the other video, before you use any class, what you're supposed to do is instantiate that particular class. And to instantiate a class, we are supposed to use an object. Now I'm going to use this, I'm going to name this object person. After all, we are creating a new person, and the keyword we are supposed to use is new, and then followed by the class name, of which it is person. Person. Yeah, I got it right. So then with the brackets at the end. So we have instantiated our class, and what I'm supposed to do now, let me try and see if I can actually echo the name and see what is going to happen. So person, then we are going to point to that particular variable, that particular property, I mean, which is the name. So I'm going to run it in the browser and see what is going to happen. So as you can see, we got nothing. This is simply because we have not set the name that we had declared in this person class. So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to use the method that is inside my person class. This method, let me show you, this set name method, and I'm going to use this method to set the name of this person, and in this case I'm going to write the name inside here. So again, hit refresh, and as you can see, I can now access the name, and I can print it on the browser. Now we can even create a bunch of new other persons here by instantiating this class again, and this is supposed to, okay, this, let me use this one as person 1 and this one as person 2, and of course let me comment that and try to echo this name here and see what is going to happen. So I think some of you can guess already that I'm going to get the name Cyprian, but no. Let me just run this and so that you can see what is going to happen in the browser. So we have an undefined variable person line 15. What is wrong with this? Let me check. Supposed to be person 1. That's where I got wrong. So let me refresh again. So we get nothing. This is simply because this is a completely new thing. This is a new object that we are creating on this same class. So what you're supposed to do here is again set another new name for this particular new person that we have inside here. So let me now try and refresh and see. We have an error, undefined variable person. So this is supposed to be person 2. Save, refresh. So we can get the name of the second person. So that is how we use objects and classes in reference to methods and properties. So we can also pass 2 parameters here. It's not that we are only supposed to pass 1 parameter. We can also pass the age of this particular person, and we are supposed to do the same down here. So here we have age, and also here the age. Save. And on the index file, that is the same thing that we are supposed to do. Let me delete this. And we have Cyprian as the first name, and we have the age. Let me write 24 inside there, and we can echo this. I hope you have learned about concatenation. That is basic PHP. So we have the name, and I am going also to have the person, the age. So we can have this as a string. I can say, let me put, okay, let me just put this and see what is going to happen first. So undefined variable person, sorry, supposed to be person 1, and I don't know why I keep forgetting this. Save. So refresh. So we have Cyprian and 24. So let me just put this one, this output to be at least human readable. So my name is some quotation marks. You concatenate this. My name, we have some, should have some space here. My name is the name, and you can say my age is then some space, then we have the age there. Of course, we have to again concatenate here. So let me refresh and see. So my name is Cyprian and my age is 24. We need some space here, sorry, inside the quotation marks. Refresh. So my name is Cyprian and my age is 24. So now you can see that we can have how we can use the methods and the properties inside a class and create a bunch of new people here. We can also have another new person. So the only thing that we need is just to instantiate the class again, and we are done. So let me create a second person. So if you have a million person that you have to change their properties using a particular function, you can just use the function inside this class and it will change everything inside the index.php file. So this new person is supposed to be Msangi and the age is supposed to be maybe 10. Sorry, save this. to the browser, refresh. Now you can see we have at least a new person. So that is it about methods and properties inside a class and how to instantiate that particular class. And I hope you enjoyed this video and it was more informative. Now in the next class we are going to talk about constructors and destructors, and this should not scare you because I will vividly explain on what they are, why they should be used, why they are there, and how to use them. So let me see you in the next class. Have a nice time.